Good evening from the Remuera Bowling Club in Auckland, where we're bringing you the final of the qualifying, the Scottish qualifying final between Jamie Hill of Auckland and Rob Ashton of Wellington. And of course, we're playing set play here at 9 ends per set, and one end gone. And it is Rob Ashton of Wellington who's leading Jamie Hill by 1-0. Our marker here tonight, Steve Hoft. And a big thank you to Amy Ching, our umpire, and Howard Sandler, who have been here right throughout the whole day. This event got underway this morning with 39 players lining up in the Scottish singles qualifier. And of course, the winner of this event will then go forward to the New Zealand finals to be held later on in the year in Dunedin, which we'll be bringing you the live coverage of those finals in Dunedin as well. So in the semi-final, we saw Jamie Hill defeat Mark Hall. He had a good win, winning quite convincingly. In fact, did Jamie Hill 12-1 and 9-4. Other semi-final, we saw Rob Ashton up against the North Harbour player Colin Rogan. Went to the tiebreaker, and Rob Ashton prevailed. So that sees now Rob Ashton through to the final up against the former international player Jamie Hill. Of course, Ashton, well-performed player in the right through the carpet and the natural surface, former New Zealand winner in pairs, and won a number of these events, these qualifiers for these events to go forward to the UK. Of course, Jamie Hill, of course, way back in 2006, got through to the semi-final, in fact, of the World Indoor Singles in the UK. And then he stopped playing in this the carpet event. As I watch Hill here draw the shot, sits right on top of the jack on this, the second end. Just get underway. 1-1 we are now after 2 ends. So Jamie Hill, of course, 2006 semi-finalist, and then gave the carpet away and just concentrated in the outdoor greens, outdoor play. But now playing back in the PBA. New Zealand Professional Bowls Association, which started in the early 2000s, and ably managed by Richard Corey, who's done a sterling job in making sure all these events come together. And of course, the big enticement for these players is the opportunity to go to win a way through to the very big money events in the UK on the indoor surface, on the carpet surface. As you watch Jamie Hill on this, the third end, draw a front toucher. Rob Ashton asking how far away the jack, the difference between the jack and the bowl. It's only but that of a few inches. Very precise draw player, of course, is Jamie Hill, playing out of the Mount Albert Club in Auckland. Rob Ashton, of course, Johnsonville and Wellington. Long-time Johnsonville player. As we watch the second bowl of Rob Ashton's, just going to go by with weight. Ashton, well known as a big driver as well, certainly not frightened to attack the head. Is Rob Ashton, very, very aggressive player. Over the years, won numerous Wellington titles. And as we watch the second bowl of Jamie Hill's, breaking towards the head now, coming right back into the centre line, sits on the centre line, just makes the target very difficult for any attacking shot, because two bowls in a line there, difficult to get at. Ashton, the blue and white shirt, the muzzy shirts I call them, trying to get down to the head, to the shot bowl. He's not far away from getting some contact here to the jack, just slides by. In fact, got a touch on the shot bowl and just rolled by about 18 inches. So Jamie Hill again now on his backhand, definitely holding a couple. He's got a wider line with this bowl. Of course, Jamie Hill, superb carpet draw player, going to come past the jack. And Steve Hoff been asked by Rob Ashton, saying he's 3 down.
Still the same? Yep, nothing's changed.
So Rob Ashton now asking the question, been told he's 3 down. On the forehand is Ashton on this, the second end of 9. So these are 9 end sets. Ashton again looking at that draw down there to get to the shot bowl of Jamie Hills or the jack. In fact, he's going to sit on this shot bowl, and that'll make second shot for sure. Jamie Hill holding the one. You won't see Jamie Hill chasing many bowls. He's not what I would call a bowls chaser. He's a bowls drawer. And that superb delivery of Jamie Hills gets the bowl away so smoothly. Knows he hasn't got the weight this time. Going to come up short of the head. He knew quite a distance out that was going to be short. So Rob Ashton making his way back to the mat to play his fourth and last bowl on this end 3 of 9 in the first set. And he's in the blue tracksuit pants, the blue and white top. We hope you're enjoying this coverage we bring you on Sky Sport Next. We bring you lots of bowls, of course, throughout the winter. I'll give you an idea of later on in a few moments of what we've got coming up as we see Rob Ashton now one down on the head, just trying to beat his last bowl, but he's under the head. You can see straight away that was disappearing pretty quickly with not enough weight under the head. And of course, in about 2 weeks' time, we've got the Bowls 3-5 Interclub Finals to be played at the 9 Club in Wellington, where the 9 qualifiers from around the countryside will assemble, plus the Parajacks, and they'll play in 2 sections of 5 teams, and they'll play a 4-round round-robin format. And we'll be covering that live on Sky on Channel 58. That will be Brendan Van Nistelrooy and myself. We're bringing all of that live commentary from Game 1 on the Saturday morning right through to the finals to be completed on the Sunday afternoon. And then later on, we will be bringing you from Dunedin, the inaugural North-South match, where it's a Ryder Cup format. I believe the North and South sides will be selected very shortly. The North Island team will be managed by Sharon Sims, as I see, Jamie Hill, Drawer Toucher, and the South Island team will be managed by Morris Symes. And that's been played over a 3-day format in Dunedin, and we'll be covering all of that live. And then the following weekend at the indoor stadium in Dunedin is the PBA, the Professional Bowls Association Finals, where all the winners, of course, win various trips to these events in the UK, and we'll be covering that event right throughout that weekend as well, the weekend after the North-South match. And then, of course, as well, there is throughout, scattered between the month of July, Brendan Van Nistelrooy and myself, we've got the Champion and Champion singles and Champion and Champion pairs, which Brendan will be covering. And then we've got the Champion and Champion triples from Hawke's Bay, and the Champion and Champion fours from Pukekohe here in Auckland. And I'll be covering those 2 events, and all those Champion and Champion events, of course, will be live right throughout the winter months. We'll be bringing you half a Sky. We'll be bringing you all the live action. Jamie Hill here holding 2 shots, nestled very closely in towards the jack. I'm sure Jamie Hill, he'll be endeavouring to get to the back, because Ashton will no doubt. Oh, no, Jamie Hill's quite content to turn his own bolt into the head, which he's done, and that makes that shot for Rob Ashton now that much more, slightly more difficult to get that target to the jack. It was sitting as a 2-bowl target prior to this bowl, so Ashton now on his forehand will reach up to try and sit on the shot bowl or get some movement. Oh, here's Ashton now on the forehand, the Johnsonville player, playing with that yard of weight, trying to get to the jack or shot bowl, and is going to do just that. Moves the jack around the corner. Well played from Rob Ashton. Makes 2 shots of it. Just got to touch onto the Jamie Hill shot bowl, which moved the jack. Hill will, he's looking at the head as he makes his way now back to the mat, playing from the Newmarket end here at Remuera. The covered complex here at at the Remuera Bowling Club. And here's Hill now on his backhand. He'll be playing, endeavouring to reach up to those counting bowls of Rob Ashton's or to get the jack. It's got to hold up a bit longer. It doesn't. Slides under the head. Rob Ashton will play his last bowl, holding 2. Remember, these are 9 in finals or sets. And if, of course, it is 1 set all, we then go to a tie-break, a 3-end or best of 3-end tiebreaker, where the shots scored don't actually count. It's the ends that you must win to win the match 2-1. So he's now Ashton endeavouring to add to the count, definitely holding 2 shots. Just depends how much this is going to hold up on the line. It's dipping under the line now, but there'll be a couple of shots too. The Wellingtonian, and he will now lead by 3 shots to 2 at 4 ends of 9 in this final of the PBA Scottish Singles Qualifier. Yesterday, of course, here at Remuera, they had their ranking singles event, which is to establish rankings throughout the PBA for all the events going forward, and that was won by Jamie Hill was the winner of that. So stretching up and down is the 6'2", 31-year-old former blackjack, winner of numerous New Zealand titles and a carpet specialist, no doubt about that. As we see this first bowl on the 15, Rob Ashton's come down towards the jack now, just going to slide under the jack, just slightly jack high. The charcoal bowls of Jamie Hill with the silver fern on them on the backhand, endeavouring to try and draw it in between that bowl of Rob Ashton's and the jack. It's on a good line, this bowl of Jamie Hill's, and it's going to come right inside and sit jack level for shot. So Rob Ashton now come down on his forehand. All hand signals then on delivery with a clenched fist. Not sure where he thinks he might have a bit too much weight, and is going to just go by the jack. Certainly had a nice draw to the centre line, a metre over the head. Jamie Hill now with his second bowl on this, the 15th of 9. Drawing the shot with his first, trailing 3-2 against Rob Ashton. Another good line. This bowler Hills, is it going to get all the way? Yes, it will. In fact, draws right to the jack. Back toucher just caresses the jack on the way through. Holding 2. Rob Ashton asking how far the bowler's away. The indication from the marker, Steve Hoff, about 18 inches. So Rob Ashton, 2 down on the head, trying to draw inside the Jamie Hill bowls, but that's going to be narrow, and it careers well across the front of the head. So Jamie Hill again now, he'll try and capitalise upon this. On the backhand, Hill holding 2 shots, playing down towards the Newmarket end here. There's a Remuera Club on a good line again, turn into his own bowl, turned his own bowl through the head. Will still be holding 2. He won't mind that because it gives him a back bowl. And there you hear the marker Steve Hoff indicate. It's 2 to Jamie Hill. So Rob Ashton playing his last bowl on this, the 15 on the forehand. Following this bowl is Ashton. Certainly got a different line than his previous bowl, but looks as though needs to get the jack. It's going to go under the head though. He's riding that bolt all the way, trying to get a drag on the jack. Goes under the head with weight. And 2 down. Jamie Hill now on his backhand, trying to draw another. He's on the wider side. How far it'll come back. Get that natural arc from in there. Looks as though he will do just that. Sits inside his own bowl. And it'll count for sure. I don't think there's any measuring required there.
3, mate.
Now there's 3. the PBA career singles head-to-head is 4-0 to Jamie Hill over Rob Ashton. This is their fifth time that they've lined up against one another, and they last played against one another, in fact, way back in 2010. But Jamie Hill holds the head-to-head victory at 4-0 as we go into this fifth encounter some 11 years later, and it is Jamie Hill that is leading by 5 shots to 3 as he draws right towards the jack, just going to sit jack level, about 14 inches level with the jack. And we saw in that semi-final match the consistency of the Jamie Hill draw play was certainly first class, as we know that he can do. So what's his first bowler? Rob Ashton's going to be low and under the line. The blue bolt of Ashton's. Jamie Hill quickly into his work on the forehand. So play's been continuous since 9 o'clock this morning, and sitting on his own bolt does Jamie Hill. Rob Ashton asking whether he's 1 or 2 down, and definitely 1, not sure about the second one. Indication from Steve Hoff, the marker. So here again is Rob Ashton on the forehand, trying to get down to the Jamie Hill counting bowl. Looks to be on the wide side. As it goes by, and it's going to be Jamie Hill will play his third holding shot for sure. There's no doubt if you can find your line and consistency on the carpet, you can certainly set yourself up with some very good heads. Jamie Hill in the Mount Albert tracksuit top, pretty nippy here at Remuera. Let's just watch this bowler, Jamie Hill's draw right down towards the jack, and it's going to sit just lower the jack. Covers up the jack a bit. We'll more than likely see Ashton might try and attack this on the backhand to try and get a flick inside the bowl off that bowl, and he sure is. He's on the drive as Ashton trying to gets the hole completely, gets nothing. Trying to get the inside of his blue bowl and go out, ricochet onto the jack. We might see now Jamie Hill may well go behind the head. There's certainly a bowl there for Rob Ashton to be able to come off and get a positive result for him. So here's Hill leading 5-3 on the 16th, and as we thought, Jamie Hill staying away from the head, going right down to the back, knowing that the likelihood that Rob Ashton will attack again, asking whether he's 2 or 3 down. And the call I just heard there from Steve Hoff, that looks like 3 shots to Jamie Hill, leading 5-3. Here's Ashton now on the mat, endeavouring to draw, trying to save. He doesn't like this one. It's outside the target area. So 3 to Jamie Hill. It's 2 3s in a row on rings 5 and 6. That's according to the marker. That it's. We've just got to make sure. The marker said it was 3. Jamie Hill having a look, may only be 2, and calling for the measure. And Steve Hoff, the marker, was quietly confident that it was 3 to Jamie Hill. As we complete the 16th in this final of the Scottish qualifier of the PBA event here in Auckland. And of course there is a number of other PBA events coming up around the countryside, all qualifiers for, and we're not sure. We'll see what Steve Hoff does. 2 was the call. So it is 7-3, 7-3 after 6 of the 9 ends. So Jamie Hill delivers the jack. Three-quarter length head. So Hill quickly into his work on the backhand, leading 7-3 as we play in 7 of 9. Looks to be on that good line again. That's going to break low under the jack, but will sit just lower the jack and ask. And the indication from Steve off the market that it's about 15 inches low of the jack. So here's now Rob Ashton on his backhand, trying to get a clear draw to the jack. And it's a good bowl here from Ashton. Just going to go by the jack, falls in. May well be shot. Jamie Hill now with his second on his backhand. Sitting on a wider draw line than his first. How's the weight going to be? Needs with that draw line. He was at that wider draw line. Definitely needed that, that yard of weight. Rob Ashton asking whether he's got the shot or not. Steve Hoff, the marker, saying it's a measure. It's close. So again onto the backhand goes Rob Ashton. Not sure who's got shot. He's certainly under the line of Jamie Hills. How's the weight? I think he's got the weight to get to the counting area. No, he's not. Fish falls low underneath the front bowl of Jamie Hills, his first bowl. So Hill again, he'll endeavour to draw underneath his second bowl, which is a good metre lower the jack. He'll just try and draw it. It's on the wide side. You won't come back all the way from there. Certainly had far better weight, but needed to be under his bowl to get down to the jack at counting area. So here's Rob Ashton now with his third on this, the 7th end of 9 in this first set of 9 ends in the final of the New Zealand Professional Bowls Association. Here's Ashton looking for the jack. He gets a touch on the jack. Just moved it a few inches, and that's certainly two. It's certainly 2 shots to Rob Ashton on the 7th end. Jamie Hill very quickly now on his work. That backhand trying to draw down that line that we spoke about under his own bowl, trying to get down towards the jack. Has to get past this bowl to get to the jack. He's close to it, and he got the hole. He was so close to getting the perfect result. And there'll be 2 shots to Rob Ashton at this point, I would think, with a bowl to come. On this, the 7th end. Magnificent draw shot played by Rob Ashton, and equal to the task was Jamie Hill, but just rolled by. Certainly looked as though he was on target to the jack, but just slipped by. So Rob Ashton now on this, the finish of the 7th end. His forehand, we're trying to draw another counter or touch the jack. It's on a good line, this bowl of Rob Ashton's too, as it comes down towards the jack. This will be a counter. Gets past his front bowl. It does. That'll be 3 to Ashton. And 7-6 after 7 of the 9 ends in this first set. Jamie Hill quickly conceding those. So 7 ends gone, and it is Jamie Hill of Mount Albert in Auckland who is leading Rob Ashton of Johnson and Wellington by 7 shots to 6. And earlier, of course, we saw in a tiebreaker, we saw Rob Ashton defeat Colin Rogan of North Harbour, and Jamie Hill defeat Mark Hall of Auckland in that semi-final. Earlier on, of course, in the we had in the quarterfinals, we had Gary Cotter up against Rob Ashton, and Rob Ashton running out the winner there. Colin Rogan defeated Leanne Paulson, Mark Hall defeated Doug Thomas, and Jamie Hill defeated Jesse Russell. So here's the first bowl of Rob Ashton's. Just going to go by the jack, sit slightly jack high, about 18 inches behind the jack as we play end 8 of 9 in this first set. On the backhand is Jamie Hill, 6'2", 31-year-old from former blackjack. It's on a good line to the jack as this bowl. It's going to come around and behind the jack. Falls, it makes a toucher of it. It's still moving. half an inch off the jack. Here is the call from the marker, Steve Hoft. It's a great opening bowl from Jamie Hill. End 8, leading 7-6. Rob Ashton on his forehand, trying to reach up to the shot bowl of Jamie Hill's on a good line. Is it going to be just go by though with a fraction? It does, just goes by. Jamie Hill now will stay out on that backhand side, trying to draw to the blue bolt of Rob Ashton's, and behind the head, it's in the counting area. So we watch the second bolt of Hills is coming towards the jack now, and draws right on top of the jack. That's a front, that's a toucher. So he's got 2 bowls now within centimetres of the jack. Ashton on the mat, 2 down, trailing 7-6. I'm pretty sure we'll see him attack this. Here's Ashton on the drive, 2 down on the head, and gets the target, gets the jack, and the jack of course goes out of bounds, and will now come to the side marker, to the side. So there's the marker out there, and you see now there's 2 marks from the sender, and that's where either side they go. So Rob Ashton making contact. So Jamie Hill now leading 7-6, end 8. On the forehand is Hill. Have a look on that monitor at a moment, get an idea. I think it would still be Hill having the shot. This ball just got to come back, or is it going to come enough? Is it going to come back enough because the jack's out, been moved out considerably? That bowl, in fact, may well be out. And 2 down is the call. So the front bowl of Jamie Hills is the shot. So Rob Ashton got to be careful he doesn't get a bowl wide outside the Jamie Hill bowl, because if he does, he would more than likely be dead. But he's inside that line for sure. Here's the weight of this bowl of Rob Ashton's now as it breaks towards the jack. There's a magnificent bowl from Rob Ashton. Draws right to the jack, sits right on top of it. I'm sure Jamie Hill will have a look at this. Remember, Jamie Hill's got a toucher as well, sitting back there in the ditch. I'm pretty sure we'll see Jamie Hill. He'll search for the jack or the shot bowl. So it's the shot that Jamie Hill will play, trying to make that contact with either the blue shot bowl of Rob Ashton's. A magnificently drawn bowl from Ashton. 2 down. 2 down was Rob Ashton when he played that bowl. Draws a toucher. Jamie Hill still looking pensive on the mat. And as we thought, playing that shot to try and get down under to the shot bowl. Looks to be hanging out on the wide side. It is. Certainly played the weight that we thought he would. So here we go now into the last end. 7-all. 7-all. Remembering 2 ends ago, it was Jamie Hill who was leading by 7 shots to 3. 3 from Rob Ashton after he moved the jack, and now a 1 sees us all locked up as we play this, the last end, the 9th end of this, the first set in the final of the New Zealand PBA Scottish Singles Qualifier. I hope you're enjoying this coverage that we're bringing you on Sky Sport Next, and a big thank you to, of course, to Sky Sport, but a bigger thank you to Tamara and Phil, who've done a wonderful job here in pretty icy conditions actually here at Remuera this evening. And although we're in an indoor environment, it's just a cover. We're still very much exposed to the outdoor conditions. And a big thank you as well to Amy Cheng, the umpire, who sat here doing a wonderful job right throughout the weekend, and Howard Sandler, who have made sure that things ran smoothly, and of course the Remuera Club, who have looked after the players right throughout the whole weekend. You see Jamie Hill draw the shot just down below the jack. The first bowl of Rob Ashton's went by. Ashton now playing his second bowl on the forehand, gave the hand clap. Don't think he liked that one out of the hand, but looks to be On a pretty good line, but it's going to hold up long enough. No, it won't. It's going to sit, be short and under the head. So big chance here for Jamie Hill to really put the pressure on Rob Ashton. And here is Hill playing his second bowl, definitely holding the shot. Looks to be on a good line, just needs to get past his own, and he will, and sits right in behind the jack toucher. So Rob Ashton now with his third, he'd be looking to reach that bowl, I would think, with some sort of weight. Try and get to the bowl or the jack. We're all locked up 7-all as we play the 9th end, the last end of this, the first set of this final here at Remuera. And that's going to get tangled up off the front, and did get a touch. Ran into the short bowl, which in fact moved the jack slightly sidewards. Jamie Hill now, I'm pretty sure he'll want to be in behind the head, holding 2 shots. Rob Ashton just the 1 bowl left. So Jamie Hill having a look, what shot should he play? I'm fairly sure we'll see the big tall Mount Albert player. There he is on his backhand. I'm sure he'll be happy to get down towards the back or deep down on the rink. And as he sits inside the Rob Ashton bowl, hasn't got the backest bowl. So Rob Ashton's really, he needs to get the jack. He either draws the shot, gets the jack. He's got a couple of bowls you can see sitting out there to the side. Not easy to get the jack around the corner, I'm pretty sure. We'll see Ashton attack for the jack. He has the backest bowl. On the mat is the Wellington player. The blue bowls, blue tracksuit pants, blue top, looking closely at it. It's going to get to the jack clean, is it? It gets the jack clean, and it does. And well played from Rob Ashton. And you can see the touch of bolt went out of play. And Steve Hoff, the marker, there he is, just indicating where the jack sits in the ditch. Jamie Hill now. Rob Ashton got the jack clean and ran it straight back into the ditch. So Jamie Hill now has to draw between the blue bowl and the ditch to get the shot and the second in the first set. So watching this bowl of Hill's breaking down towards the head. Here's the weight of this. It needs to hold up. Is it going to hold up? Yes, it will. It certainly will. And that's the shot without any shadow of doubt, I would think. No one's giving anything away, but we'll check with Steve Hoft when he comes up here. But Jamie Hill's got, I'm not sure what the story is. We'll check with Steve Hoft, the marker. So Rob Ashton, he's delivered the jack right to the deepest part of the rink. So I'll just check with Steve Hoft.
Second set.
So Jamie Hill,
Yes.
yeah, so it was Jamie. There wasn't another bowl in the ditch. Jamie Hill drew the shot to win that first set by 8 shots to 7. And Rob Ashton now starting off the second set just falls low of the jack. So the winner of this, of course, sees themselves into the final of the Scottish qualifier. The other PBA events from around the country, they'll all come together. So Rob Ashton, after playing a magnificent shot to get the jack in the ditch, and not to be outdone, Jamie Hill drew between the back blue bowl of Rob Ashton's and the ditch to draw the shot and win the first set, holding 2 shots. Is Ashton to start this set off, just lower the jack. Jamie Hill will endeavour to draw just inside those 2 bowls. I question the weight though. How's the weight going to, is going to get enough weight to get all the way under? No, it doesn't. Sits inside. Might in fact still be 2 shots to Ashton, Rob Ashton, I would say. It is 2. You saw the marker there. Steve Hoff indicate 2 shots to Rob Ashton as he now plays his third. Both lowered the jack. Jamie Hill got a bowl short and 1 metre over the head. Rob Ashton will be endeavouring to get a good start to this second end as this needs to get under the Jamie Hill bowl. In fact, turns the Jamie Hill bowl over. That might have changed things. That may well have changed the position of the head. He's slightly underlined, undergreened, and got a touch on the Jamie Hill bowl. So Hill now, he's going to be under the head, and he might get in fact gets the Ashton bowl as well. I'm sure Steve Hoff going to be asked the question now, and it is the Jamie Hill bowl. Locked in the middle there, that Rob Ashton touched. It is the shot. Remembering Jamie Hill won the first set by 8 shots to 7. And we're now into end 1 of 9. And here's Rob Ashton trying to get some contact. Doesn't do so, goes by. So Jamie Hill will open the second set, holding 1. And this bowl, he's not trying very hard, I don't think, with that bowl. You can see that didn't have the weight. You can see that very early on in the piece. So it'll be a 1 to Hill. Good to have a marker like Steve Hoff, very precise. Helps us immensely knowing what's going on. So Jamie Hill lays the mat. And no doubt he'll endeavour to get that jack right down towards the 2 metre mark, but he's going to fall short of that. And he's in between the 3/4 length head. So Jamie Hill with the silver fern emblem on his bowls on the backhand. Got a magnificent delivery has Jamie Hill. Every bowl gets away the same, nice and smooth on the delivery. Just finishes slightly jack low. Rob Ashton following. On the forehand, Ashton looks to be under the line. Just depends how the weight will be. It'll have weight to hold up, and it will hold up and sits jack level and will be shot. So here's Jamie Hill again endeavouring to draw inside his own bowl, to draw down to the Ashton bowl. Didn't like that bowl. It's narrow. You can see that very early in the delivery. So Rob Ashton now, you imagine he'll stay on his forehand. No, he's going to the backhand. Doesn't want to get tangled up on the front bolt of Jamie Hill. So here's Rob Ashton now on his backhand. Looks to be on a good line as well. That's going to be jack level and sit alongside the jack. That'll count 2 good opening bowls. So Jamie Hill now want to make sure he's got that line down to where the blue counting bowls are of Ashton. Remember, Jamie Hill winning the first set by 8 shots to 7. Trying to get to the jack and does, and gets a back toucher. Absolutely precise draw from Jamie Hill. Came down in between the bowls, sat right on top of the jack. Steve Hoff indicating to Rob Ashton, you're 1 down.
My ball, is it level, high, low, level?
So asking the marker is Rob Ashton whether his bowl is level with the jack or jack low. Steve Hoff clearly telling Rob Ashton, that it is jack level, so reaching up, trying to get to the jack or the shot bowl. He's under the head and will get nothing and disappears, you can see, trying to dislodge the bowl of Jamie Hills. Hill, of course, leading 1-0 in the second set after winning the first set 8-7. Here's on the backhand again is Jamie Hill trying to get another bowl on the head, knowing that Rob Ashton will certainly be endeavouring to attack. I just question how that weight is, as does Jamie Hill, and that's very, very short. He'll be disappointed with that. So Rob Ashton having another look. Well, needs to do get down through that port, get to the shot bowl or the jack. First set went to Jamie Hill, 8-7 in the final of the Scottish qualifying singles here at the Remuera Bowling Club here in Auckland. It's been our pleasure to bring you the quarterfinal, semi, and now the final of this, the first of the PBA events, which will be around the country throughout the winter months. Here's Rob Ashton looking for that jack or the shot bowl. Definitely on a better line than his last. Going to get something for sure. Gets the jack all the way through. It's just a matter of whether the Jamie Hill bowl stays alive. The Jamie Hill bowl has stayed alive. In fact, it will more than likely be the shot to Hill. We'll just see what happens here. Steve Hoft going to put the score up straight away. Jamie Hill got the mat, and it was just the one to Jamie Hill, so nothing really changed, although Rob Ashton unlucky there was Ashton. 2-0 now to Jamie Hill. 2 ends gone of 9 in this, the second set in this final here at the Remuera Bowling Club. First bolt, Jamie Hill's inching its way down towards the jack. It's going to finish just slightly low of the jack, about 20 inches lower the jack. Rob Ashton now on his forehand. Just looking at the facial expression when he delivered that, I'm not sure whether he liked it or not, but it looks to be going pretty good as it breaks the one in towards the head and getting towards the jack. Just finishes at jack level. Only a few inches away though. So here is Jamie Hill on his backhand, endeavouring to draw up to the shot bowl or the jack, leading 2-0. Under the head though. You can see that definitely under the line. Rob Ashton now will stay on that, on his forehand side, endeavouring to draw inside that, what is the second shot bowl of Jamie Hills. On the wider line, will it come all the way back to sit inside that bowl? No, it won't. Jamie Hill now will go to his backhand, just try and improve. He had perfect weight with his second bowl. Just wants to improve on that line to get in towards the jack. Here is Hill now playing his third bowl of the third end on the back end. Definitely down on the head, but certainly on a wider line. Now making its way towards the jack, and has it got the weight to get all the way towards the jack? No, it hasn't. Falls short of the line. So Jamie Hill will be disappointed with how he's played on this particular head. The green running around 14-15 seconds. It has slowed up this evening. Very cold, damp here. So that would affect this artificial surface, slowed down slightly. So here's Rob Ashton giving the old whacking the hands together, trying to get another bolt on the head. Looks on a good line, this bowl of Rob Ashton's, as it breaks in towards the head, towards the jack. Going to get close to getting to the jack. No, it doesn't. Sit just alongside it. Jamie Hill now, he'll search up. Needs to play another yard of weight down on that backhand line to get to the counting bowls. breaking in towards the head now, but not going to come all the way back towards the centre. Gets that, it runs into his own bowl and will still remain 2 down. Rob Ashton now with his last will endeavour to add. There's plenty of room. There's no danger for Rob Ashton, the Wellington player. Remembering Jamie Hill winning the first set by 8 shots to 7. As we play end 3 of 9. Again, on a good line, this bowl of Rob Ashton as it breaks in towards the head. Going to sit inside those counting bowls. And will, that's 3 shots. And Rob Ashton drew 3 magnificent bowls there. And Jamie Hill couldn't cut the count down. So 3-2 now to Rob Ashton after 3 of the 9 ends of set 2. In this final, remembering earlier in a tiebreaker, Rob Ashton beat Colin Rogan of North Harbour, and Jamie Hill defeated Mark Hall of the Papakura Club in Counties Manukau. So Rob Ashton delivered the jack down towards 3/4 length head. Just coming to the centre line now, going to go by about a metre, but finishes right on the centre line. So Jamie Hill, you want to put that last end behind him and get onto his consistent draw, going towards the Newmarket end here at the Remuera Club on the backhand, but under the line for sure, and losing his weight too. Be a metre short at least. Will force Rob Ashton, though, definitely to change his hand to the backhand. Doesn't want to get caught up on that short bowl of Jamie Hill's, and he's gone out on his backhand. And it's under the line. It's going to go slide by the jack. That's a good metre and a half away, but still a counter. Jamie Hill now on his backhand, trying to make amends in that first bowl. Definitely on a wider line, and looks to be on a better line towards the jack as well. Needs to just get down a bit further, and will do, I would say. That would be the shot, no doubt. Rob Ashton will ask, and that is the shot. Steve Hoff very quickly indicating that that's the shot bowl, and indicating he's got the shot as Jamie Hill by about 6 inches. So here is Ashton now on the backhand. Definitely down on the head. No question. He's going to get past the Jamie Hill bowl. If he gets past it, he'll get shot. And he does just that. Just drops past the Jamie Hill bowl to make shot. So Jamie Hill just wants to put about a foot of weight on. This is his second bowl. Try and get to the blue bolt of Rob Ashton's. This is on a good line as well. This bowl of Hills, is it going to get all the way? Going to finish one bowl lower the counting area. He was close to getting a really good result to the blue bowl. Of course, he can't attack it, can Jamie Hill, because he's got no back bowls. There's 2 blue bowls of Rob Ashton's you'll see there, then behind the jack. So there's no way that Jamie Hill can attack it. He's just got to try and get it on the draw. Hill doesn't want any jack movement, certainly not in his favour to move the jack. So Rob Ashton now, the Wellington player, certainly on a different line than his last. Looks to be breaking, going to get to the Jamie Hill front bowl though, not going to get past it. Now I just wonder whether Jamie Hill, sticking to that backhand draw, trying to get down to his own bowls, turn his own bowl into the head, could make shot of it. It's going to go by though, just on the wide side. And it'll be another one to Rob Ashton. It takes it to 4-2. 4-2 now to Ashton after 4 of the 9 ends. 4 ends gone of 9 in this second set. After Jamie Hill won the first set 8 shots to 7. In the final here of the Scottish singles qualifier here at the Remuera Bowling Club between Rob Ashton and Jamie Hill. Steve Hoff doing a great job marking this final. And of course Tamara, Phil, Howard Sandler and Amy Cheng done a wonderful job here today bringing you this coverage.
I'm going to Sky City tonight. Time to play them again.
So Jack's been delivered. 3/4 length head, Rob Ashton. He's on the mat on the forehand. Green still running around, 14 seconds. 4-2, Rob Ashton leading. A good opening bowl here from Rob Ashton. Just breaks towards the jack and it just sits jack level, only centimetres away from being touch up. Jamie Hill now on his backhand, endeavouring to reach up to the shot bowl or the jack. It's on a good line, this bowler, Jamie Hill, as it tracks towards the jack and just went past the jack, only a matter of a couple of centimetres away to make contact with the jack. Rob Ashton now on with his second bowl. Holding shot, this looks to be narrow under the line and this should duck away under the head and will do. May well count, sits jack level on that forehand side. Jamie Hill again, play on that backhand, trying to get to the shot bowl or some movement on the jack. It wasn't far away with his first bowl. Second bowl of Hills is on a good line. This bowl is going to hold up long enough. No, it doesn't. It rocks the shot bowl of Rob Ashton's.
Jamie's last ball in relation to the right.
It's
One ball pass.
Rob Ashton asking the position of the Jamie Hill's last bowl, and Steve Hoft indicating to him that it's over the head, it's jack high, and it is. So here's Ashton now with his third bowl, holding that line towards the jack. It'll come outside the bowl. No, it won't. Going to get inside the Jamie Hill bowl and falls in. It may well have made 2 of it. So Jamie Hill will search for the jack here or the shot bowl on his backhand, playing up towards the southern end here. Looks to be going by on the wider side, and it is. Misses on the way through. Rob Ashton looking over the top to see whether he's got 1 or 2 shots. Playing towards the southern end here at Remuera. One of the grand clubs of Auckland, or one of the grand old clubs of New Zealand. Has been headquarters here for national championships. Internationals played here, and let's say it was certainly in the 70s and 80s was the let's say being based in Remuera was the blue ribbon part of Auckland, and had a very affluent membership, in excess of 300 members in fact, as Ashton turns the bowl over. There's a big end now. 4-2, Rob Ashton leading, and we're playing the end 5, and Jamie Hill going a lot quicker, but he's well under the head. He's nowhere near that. And 2 shots is the indication from the marker, Steve off. 6-2 now, 6-2 to Rob Ashton. 6-2 after 5 of 9 ends. As Remuera in those days was a strong part of their membership, of course, was that of judges, lawyers, businessmen, doctors. It was certainly very much the club of Auckland, and still, of course, very strong club insofar as located right in minutes away from the motorway, only a few metres, in fact 100 metres away from the southern motorway, only 5 minutes from Newmarket. So it's literally right in the centre of Auckland. As we watch now Rob Ashton play his first bowl on this, the 60, and leading 6 shots to 2, just goes by the jack. Jamie Hill now will certainly want to score this end. He doesn't want to get any further behind and go to give himself a chance of winning this second set. So this bowl of Jamie Hill's now is coming towards the head, towards the centre line, and is going to sit literally right on the centre line. Lower the jack, asking, it's about 15 inches, lower the jack. Steve Hoff indicating to Rob Ashton, where it was situated. Here is now Ashton with his second bowl on the forehand, definitely one down. That certainly looks under the line, that bowl, and it is. So we'll finish, in fact, literally jack level. Jamie Hill just having a look to see where it is situated. Jamie Hill on that backhand now, trying to draw in between those bowls, trailing 6-2, holding the shot. This bowl needs to get inside that port. Not going to have the weight to get where he wanted to. Need another metre of weight. Rob Ashton asking again, the marker, the story on the head, and indicating Steve Hoff that he's one down. So Rob Ashton again now on his forehand, trying to get past the bowler Jamie Hills, which is shot. Certainly looks to have weight to get to the jack, is it? No, it's going to get the bowl of Jamie Hills, and it does, and rolls over once, and it makes shot of it for Rob Ashton. So here now is Jamie Hill endeavouring to reach up, turning his bowl over into the head, trying to get to the jack. He's going to go wide on the way through, on the outside of it. Definitely Rob Ashton holding the shot. As we come to the back of Ian 6 of 9, remembering Jamie Hill winning the first set by 8 shots to 7, and now it is 6-2 as we come to the last couple of bowls of this, the 16th of 9. And of course, if it's all locked up, well, if of course Rob Ashton was to win this set, we then go to that best of 3 end tie break. Here is Rob Ashton now on the mat, leading 6-2, playing his last bowl on the forehand, holding the shot. Just question the weight of this one, and it's not going to have the weight to get to who wanted it, but it certainly cuts the options off for Jamie Hill. Could have been a chance of playing a lot of, now that he's got the back bowl, possibly Hill playing quite a bit of weight, but he can't risk too much because really the next 3 bowls, the blue bowls, all belong to Rob Ashton. So we'll see what Jamie Hill can do here. Rob Ashton kindly goes and stands on the bank. So here is Jamie Hill down 6-2, one down on the head. Needs to make sure that he reaches the head for sure with some weight to move bowls around on the backhanders. Hill looks to be under the line. It is under the line. That's another 1-2. Ashton, he jumps to a 7-2. 7-2 now after 6 of the 9 ends. Jamie Hill scored a 1 on the first, another 1 on the second. And since then it's been a 3, a 1, a 2 and a 1 to Rob Ashton to hold that 7-2 lead. 9 ends, of course. 9 end set, so Jamie Hill needs to score on this end to give himself really a good chance to, needs a couple. Of course, if Jamie Hill was to get up and even draw this second set, that would suffice as a win for Hill after winning the first set by 8 shots to 7. A draw in the second set would give Jamie Hill the victory. So here's the first bowl of Rob Ashton's on the 7th end. Coming down towards the jack now. It's going to just below the jack. It's about half a metre lower the jack. Jamie Hill now, that very deliberate look on the forehand, trying to get past the Ashton bowl to get shot. Certainly looks to be on a good line. How's the weight now as it's coming back towards the head, and will go by, goes by a metre. Rob Ashton holding the shot. About 22 inches lower the jack. Ashton now on his forehand, leading the second set by 7 shots to 2 as we play in 7 of 9. And this bowl of Rob Ashton's, this looks to be on a good line, coming towards the jack, and will. Gets to the jack, gets a touch on the jack, sits right in front of it. Jamie Hill, he's under a lot of pressure here in the second set as we play the 7th end, trying to get down to the jack or the shot bowl. He's trying pretty hard with this bowl. Is it going to get to the jack? Certainly trying hard, touches the jack in fact. Just brushed the jack on the way through, but to no avail. And the indication from Steve Hoft, it's not sure it's a 1 or 2 to Rob Ashton. Just the one shot. Steve Hoft just kindly indicated to me, just the one. Another good bowl coming in here from Rob Ashton. He's closing that front off, or that must be 2. That's 2 shots now to Rob Ashton, leading 7-2 as we come to the end of the 7th end. Jamie Hill desperate to try and draw the shot or move the jack. He moves the jack, that's all in his favour, but looks to be just nipping past on the wide side, and it will, but he had to be up to give himself a chance. And Rob Ashton looking ahead. Things are not to look at, Rob. Just got to leave them all there in a single line because it's very, very hard to get to. 7-2. Another 2 here, 9-2 with 2 ends to go makes it, I'm not going to say impossible to win the second set, but exceptionally challenging. And Rob Ashton may well even elect to play the backhand and get past the head just to give himself some cover in case Jamie Hill is able to get hold of that jack and move it to where he has got 3 bowls behind the head, and that's exactly what Rob Ashton's trying to do. In fact, he's going to draw another shot. In fact, it might in fact force Jamie Hill to change his hand. No, he's not. He's endeavouring to get up here on there forehand to get to the shot, playing with reaching weight to get to the bowls, which would shunt the jack back. Gets one of them, but still be 2 down though. Still be, from what I'm indicating from Mark Steve Hoft, and he has 9-2 now. 9-2 to Rob Ashton on the second set as we come to the 8th end of 9. It's a big turnaround in this set. A 3, a 1, a 2, a 1 and a 2 from Rob Ashton. Certainly seen him dominate this second set over Jamie Hill. And all indications are we're heading towards a 3-end tie break, or best of 3-end tie break. And I'll just give everyone the real good news about being here at Remuera, because regardless of what happens, at 10 o'clock at night, the lights go off. Everything goes off. So, and of course, Tamara and Phil still got to do all the packing up. A lot of work to do to get all that done. So, Jamie Hill desperately trying to get back into the second set. If not, he's facing best of 3-end tie break from this final. And a good opening bowl here, just getting past the bowl of Rob Ashton's. In fact, there's a toucher, half an inch off the jack. Was the call from the marker, Steve Hoft. Of course, really Jamie Hill needs a big number to hold himself alive, to have a chance to play the last end. Needs in fact a 3 to get it to 9-5, and then a 4 to get to 9 all. So it's a big challenge, a big mountain for Jamie Hill, trying to get past the Rob Ashton bowl. In fact, he's going to turn the Rob Ashton bowl into the head. Doesn't make shot of it, but it's certainly making the job all that more difficult now for Jamie Hill. Rob Ashton now playing down to trying to get to his own bowl. On the forehand, yeah. Good move, but could be a bad move. If Jamie Hill can jar that bowl out of the head, which he'll be endeavouring to do, he's lying 3 shots. It's the only chance that Hill's got is to try and reach down to jar that bowl out of the head, and just goes by. And Rob Ashton looking very closely at the hit. I wouldn't. I know, Rob, you're a very thorough player, very deliberate player, but from your point of view, there's not a great deal to look at. That you're holding the set, you're holding everything. Jamie's got to play a miraculous bowl to get out of it, or even to get another end in this, the 8th end of the second set, after Jamie Hill winning the first set 8 shots to 7. So here's Rob Ashton now on his backhand. And that's going to nestle down towards the back here. And Jamie Hill's only chance is to jar the blue ball out of the head, make 3 of it. Other than that, doesn't get that result. That's a shot he's trying to play. If he doesn't do that, he can forget this set, and he doesn't. So it'll be a 1 to Jamie Hill, not enough. We now go to that best of 3 end tiebreaker. And remembering, it's not shots that count, it's winning the end that actually counts. So we've certainly seen convincing. We've seen 5 ends in a row. Rob Ashton scoring in that second set, a 3, a 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, and certainly played some magnificent bowls in this final of the PBA Scottish Singles qualifying event here at the Remuera Bowling Club in Auckland. It's been going right throughout the day. Got underway at 9 o'clock this morning. Jamie Hill, of course, first time he's played in this the Professional Bowls Association way back since 2011. And of course, in 2006 was a beaten semi-finalist in the World Singles. So very proficient carpet player is Jamie Hill, who's playing the first bowl on this, the first of the tie-break ends, and he draws towards the jack and sits just alongside, just skips by about 15 inches in the jack. Rob Ashton now on his forehand, first end of this tie-break, best of 3. He's certainly drawn very well throughout this second set as Rob Ashton, and had a good opening bowl here as well. Just going to go by, if it comes back to the centre line, and that'll be the shot. Jamie Hill now endeavour to draw inside that bowl. It's not the matter of how many shots you get in these tie-break ends. It's just a matter of winning the end is the most important thing. And this bowler, Jamie Hills, is going to be under the line and underweighted. So Rob Ashton will change his hand, no doubt. So here's now Ashton on the backhand with his second bowl, holding the shot with the blue bolt in behind the jack there. This bolt of Ashton's is going to come under the line and will go by, and no damage. Jamie Hill now with his third. They need to draw the shot to the inside the blue bowl of Rob Ashton's, which is the shot bowl, and behind the jack. Just quick, how's the weight for this bowler, Jamie Hills? It's certainly got the line. Has it got the weight? No, it hasn't. Certainly had the perfect line to get the shot. But one shot to Ashton, as indicated by Steve Hoff. He certainly, that bowler Jamie Hills, he certainly had the perfect line, but lacked that yard of weight. Here's Rob Ashton playing his third bowl. He won't want to touch this front bowler Jamie Hills. That's for sure. If he does, he'll make shot of it, and he's done just that. Has he rolled it in far enough for shot? No indications from anybody. Still looks though, from where I'm sitting here, still looks like 1-2. Rob Ashton, change of hands from Jamie Hill. Needs to get into this port here to draw the shot. Has it got the weight? No, it hasn't. And it's the one to Ashton. So that's the first end of the tie break gone. Rob Ashton leading 1-0. Remember, it's the best of 3. So to stay alive, of course, Jamie Hill must score on this, the second end. Jamie Hill winning the first set 8-7. And Rob Ashton winning the second set 9-3. After earlier on in the semi-final, Jamie Hill defeated Mark Hall of Auckland in 2 sets straight. And Rob Ashton defeated Colin Rogan of North Harbour in a tie-break. And here we have in the final now a tie-break as well. Jack's been delivered, set that 3/4 mark. Steve Hoff just gives a little touch, straightens it up. So Rob Ashton now playing his first after he's won the first end of 3, the best of 3. This carpet green here at Remuera still running around about 14 seconds. So a metre here for Jamie Hill to draw the shot. What you've got to do, put pressure on, to put the pressure on Rob Ashton to go to a final end, and he does just that. Draws a front toucher, just cuts the vision line off as well for Rob Ashton. Rob Ashton asking how far away is it? It's about 12 inches from the jack. So Rob Ashton now with his second bolt on this, the second end. And this is going to be narrow, this bowl of Rob Ashton's. That's not going to get to the shot bowl. Goes outside it, rocks it, but goes by. Jamie Hill now with his second, holding the shot. Remembering, of course, so that Rob Ashton won the first set, and this bowler, Jamie Hills, this is going to be narrow. Very narrow, this bowler, Jamie Hills. It might, though, just restrict the line for Rob Ashton down through that port. So here's Ashton now, going to the backhand side, trying to get down to the shot bowl, playing with a lot of weight, trying to dislodge that shot bowl of Jamie Hills. Doesn't do so. Jamie Hill desperately needs to get another bowl on the head. Question is, that bowl of Jamie Hills, did it actually make a second shot, which makes the shot for Rob Ashton a wee bit different to how he gets down there on that backhand side to try and get to the shot bowl, which will no doubt be the shot that he'll endeavour to play. Just a matter of what weight he can play to hold up under that line. So back to the mat. Of course, Rob Ashton was to win this end as well. He's won the final and won his way into the finals to be held in Dunedin. Here's Rob Ashton now on the backhand, trying to get down to the Jamie Hill bowl, which is shot. Is it going to come back far enough? No, it's not. Goes by. So we've got one end apiece here. One end apiece in this final. Rob Ashton was pretty close to getting the ultimate result. So it'll all come down to this end. Jamie Hill will have the first bowl.
Well, your choice.
Playing up towards us here in the commentary position, which is at the southern end here at the Remuera Bowling Club. It's been our pleasure to bring you this coverage, the quarterfinal, semi-final and final of the PBA Scottish Singles Qualifier. And we've got this final between Rob Ashton of Wellington, Jamie Hill of Auckland. Hill winning the first set by 8 shots to 7. Second set, we saw Rob Ashton dominate the second set by winning the second set by 9 to 3. We're now in the best of 3 ends tie break. Rob Ashton winning the first end. Jamie Hill coming back and winning the second end, and now we're into that third end. All important and final end. As we see the first bowler, Jamie Hill's just come up low of the jack. It's about 22 inches low of the jack. So here's Ashton now on the mat in the blue bowls. On the forehand. He certainly played exceptionally well in that second set, and this bowl of Ashton's now breaking down towards the jacks, under the jack line, but would be shot. So here Jamie Hill now on his forehand, just has lost that consistency. Needs to sit on the shot bowl. That's what he needs to do here, because he's under the line and he's going to go past the shot bowl, finish with jack level weight. So it'll be Rob Ashton holding the shot. Here's Rob Ashton with his second bowl on the forehand. Certainly out on a wider line. Should come back with weight, and it will. Needs to get inside this Jamie Hill bowl, and it does. That's good and bad, because it does give for Jamie Hill a very, very good vision line into that triangle, into the head. And that's the direction he's heading. There's Jamie Hill. That's the direction he's coming from. Is he going to get the jack? Yes, he does. Draws a toucher. Gets a touch on the jack.
How far behind is it? 3 inches.
3 inches behind the jack is the call from the marker, Steve Hoff. Rob Ashton on his forehand. We're endeavouring to play with reaching weight, to reach up through the port to get to the shot bowl, Jamie Hill's. Jamie Hill got one bowl left, and as we thought, playing with weight as Rob Ashton gets off his own front blue bowl, moves it all around the corner, moved the jack, and Rob Ashton holding one. Got a touch on the jack off a side bowl, really. Didn't get the actual target that he was going for. Doesn't matter. Got the right result. Jamie Hill now on this last end. One end each in this tie break. He's down on the head. Here's now Jamie Hill on his back end, endeavouring to reach up to the shot bowl of Rob Ashton's, or the jack. It's coming in. What's the line like as it comes in towards the head now? Is it going to get inside the bowl for shot? Does it? Does it? A measure. A measure. I thought he'd drawn it. Jamie Hill giving nothing away. Jamie Hill indicating to me that he thinks he's still one down. Looking very closely at it. He's He's not sure. Is he not going to play his last bowl? And now he's pondering, do I not play my last bowl and back in myself on the measure? I've got the shot. Jamie Hill, of course, giving nothing away. One bowl to come. One end each in this tie break. I'll see whether I can get some indication from Jamie. So Jamie Hill now going over the head to have a good look at it. So Jamie Hill just indicating to me then it is a tight, it is a measure. So now asking the marker what he reckons. I'm pricking. I've got an idea what the marker might say. No, as I thought the marker would say, he had a good look at it, and he's not prepared as Steve Hoft to make a decision that so the lights go off at 10. One bowl to play. It's taking a long time to play it. He's not sure who's got the shot here. We'll see what sort of weight that Ashton plays, what he thinks. So here is now Rob Ashton on the mat. He's not trying very hard at all. So out comes the measure. Out comes the measure, I would imagine. No one's saying anything in this final here of the PBA Scottish qualifying singles. Right, I've been given a bit of an indication from Steve Hoft, the marker, but I'm not saying anything. We'll leave this to the marker, the umpire, Amy. So remembering, Jamie Hill won the first set 8 shots to 7. Rob Ashton won the second set 9 shots to 3. And go to the best of 3 end tie break.
Yes, I did. That's why I didn't want to.
And this is very close to see. Very close to see who will win this final of the PBA Scottish qualifying singles. I did get a bit of an indication from the marker, Steve Hoft, whether it's right or not, and he will be told by the calipers of the umpire. Amy Chong is down, huddled over the top of the bowls with the calipers. She's gone to the Rob Ashton bowl, the blue bowl first. And behind the head, you'll see it's got the chocks under the bowls, so they can't fall in. Now round to the Jamie Hill bowl. Back to the Rob Ashton bowl. I think she'll go back once more to the Jamie Hill bowl. And it is the Jamie Hill bowl, which the umpire has declared as the shot, giving Jamie Hill the win in this tie-break best of 3 ends final here of the Scottish qualifying singles of the PBA event here in Auckland. So Jamie Hill, the victorious, defeating Rob Ashton of Wellington. Jamie Hill winning the first set by 8 shots to 7. Then Rob Ashton winning the second set 9 sets to 3. Then into the tie break where Rob Ashton won the first end, Jamie Hill the second end, and on an umpire's measure it was the Jamie Hill bowl which were declared the shot, thus giving Jamie Hill the win and a berth in the final. A big thank you to Steve Hoft, the marker, did a wonderful job throughout that, helping us right throughout the game. To our umpire, Amy Chang, did a superb job right throughout the day, as did Howard Sandler, making sure that everything ran smoothly here at Remuera. And of course, Tamara and Phil, who have been the brains behind this today. It's been my pleasure to bring you this coverage. This is Kevin Hickland calling it a day here at the PBA Bowls at the Remuera Bowling Club in Auckland, and we'll be back live on Sky for the Bowls 3-5 finals in 2 weeks' time in Wellington, and please join us.